You say it?
Hold on.
Wow, another week, another special edition. Well. And actually, you can bring it to me, Charles. It's okay. It's okay. We're not going to put ourselves through this stress. We don't do this. We the mental health advocates. Okay, be quick and go on.
Hold on, wait.
Okay, go on. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay.
There it is. There they are.
Madigan TV works.
Hey! He ain't had to go to the bathroom. He had to go make sure that was working. Off the tape.
Just put one thing in case. Just put a sticker on the window. So they understand it. If you're not going to get it to work.
Oh boy, hello Facebook. Yes, it's a special edition coming to you live from the Mad Studios here in Camp Springs, Maryland. You know who this is. It's your girl. Palms up to you. Palms up special edition. This is the Small Business Roundtable, and we've amassed a small group of professionals because we want you guys to know that this mental health messaging is real. I know you guys hear those guns going off. I know that there's a conversation that we still have to have, and we told you that we were going to mindfully make a difference. You like our shirts? You see us flexing. We know some folks. This mental health is real. It can be stylish, but you got to be accountable. That's right. Palms up. Hey guys, I'm in the studio with some beautiful souls, and without any further ado, we're asking you to share the feed, guys. Tonight is a special edition, Small Business Roundtable. We've got some crime and some other issues going on in the community, and small business investors of our fate. As controllers of our destiny, it is important that we pay attention to the things that are going on around us. So we hope that we're going to bring a message to you tonight that's going to resonate. So call up all your small business friends and let them know that the Healthy DCME Leadership Coalition, in Maryland, we Healthy DMV, didn't you know? We call it coming to you live from the Mad Studio. Hey guys, Mr. Dip, thank you so much for joining us. You know who that is. That's one of our coalition leaders. Why don't you tell folks who you are and what kind of business you're running, just so they know who you're representing?
That camera or this one?
Oh, no. They catch us. Matter of fact, here you go.
It's still me, Big Dip, owner of Halftime Graphics, Halftime Executive Solutions, owner of Absent Mall 2 shops. I do t-shirts, banners, flyers, all your promotional needs, anything you need to promote your business, I cover. And I also make sure ambiance in this place is TikTok.
Yes, you do. Palms up. You see anything you like, you better get in touch.
I ain't get no scan over here. Ain't get no scan right now.
Did you give them your, what are you on? Instagram? You're everywhere. Where we finding you at? Don't know.
Facebook and Instagram.
Instagram.
What's the IG name?
Telephone.
You know why he don't get
What's the IG name?
He part 2 of the Mad Studio. It's coming live.
Oh yeah, that's part 2.
Hey Pastor Cole, you know who this is. This is my girl. We just warming up. We want you guys to know that there's no fluff when we're bringing conversation straight. Tell them who you are again, just in case a new person joined the feed. We on Healthy's page today.
Yeah, we are. Hello, everybody. I'm Overseer Dr. Ann Coles. I bring you greetings from Kingdom Life Outreach Center Ministries, where I am the Judicial Overseer for the DMV area. I am also with Healthy DCME Coalition, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Also, I am the chairperson of Voices in the Valley, for a support group for women, where we deal with those who have survived from domestic violence, with the realization that some women will never leave, but we are their support while they're there. This Saturday, I will be honored by Sisters for the HIV work that I do in the community.
Amen. Palms up to you, Queen.
Man.
Well deserved.
And just call me Girl Friday. Whenever I see a need or a challenge, I step into it. And my recent endeavor is building a safe place. And I need y'all to hear me clearly. Dealing with MPD and Prince George's County Police, because we fail to realize they are human too. They have mental health issues and they can't talk about it at work. So I am that safe place. So just keep forward. Just keep looking out, y'all. We busting DC wide open.
Hey, palms up. You heard it from the overseer, so tell me she got a direct connect to you know who. I don't know. palms up to you guys. And you know who this is to my right. Tell them again, sis. Tell them who you is.
I am absolutely nobody. I'm just here to support everybody in the room.
So humble. Now here it comes.
Now the realness is, I'm Sharamia Hightower. I am part of the community in Maryland, DC, Virginia, and some of a bit of Delaware, a little bit of NC now. I am the up and coming CL Hightower LLC. What I do is I bridge gaps between communities and managers and making sure that everybody has a wonderful quality life of living. I am also a board member of the In My Mother's Keeper advocacy.
Yes, you
I am part of Healthy DC and Me. I am a phenomenal woman, as the wonderful Maya Angelou said. But yet still, I'm still one of us. I am the voice. And I'm the voice of the right to understand that it doesn't take a scientist to speak. It just takes a heart and courage.
Oh, now that sounds like a MI queen right there. Woo, woo. Bust on the scene 5 years ago. You know about it, bringing this mental health message. And it's your girl, just having some fun, guys. We are at the first ever for our organization, Round Table for Small Businesses. It's time that we get all voices and points of view in this conversation. And welcome. It's so wonderful to see you. We're going to keep this introduction going. We got a beautiful queen. Queen, will you please help our social media audience understand who you are and what it is that you do and why it is this conversation will be interesting for you?
Okay, my name is Reverend Melanie Best, and I am the owner of God's Best Ministries,
Awesome.
which is a gospel drama ministry. And we actually do stuff here in the area and also outside of the area.
Awesome.
And our mission basically is to bring souls to Christ.
Yeah.
And in doing that, we also touch everything that you all are doing.
Yes.
We deal with homelessness in our
Yes.
plays.
God
We deal
bless you.
with a whole lot of different things. But you know, I'm here today. I'm blessed to be here to sit with you all, enjoying this palms up. I'm gonna get it.
Yes. Look, one thing we know, pastors, that's second nature for you. That's why we palms up. You know how we do when we go through. What's the first thing we do? Lord. Lord. You know, so we know you get it. You know, we know you know.
But I just like the opportunity to be able to, you know, with the pandemic being what it has been,
Yes.
the drama ministry has basically been set aside because people haven't been getting together.
Exactly.
But when we do get back together,
Hey.
you know, we got something for everybody.
Hey, we
Well,
love
you got
that.
a bunch of drama queens right here.
Okay.
Dude right here.
I just
That is right there.
misunderstood.
I ain't sure where I'm feeling.
Well, we are.
Free.
Well, you know, we are the Mental Health Studio.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mental Health Advocacy Agency. And we have another beautiful soul in the studio.
Yes.
And guys, if you will join us in welcoming this beautiful soul, we're going to ask him to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I am Sherman Hardy. I'm a realtor and title agent here in the DMV. And I'm also running for county executive of Prince George's County. And it's definitely a pleasure to be around like-minded individuals who are trying to advance our community in a multitude of ways. So it's important that we have these round tables and share information because, you know, each one teach one, reach one, right?
Oh, come on now. Palms up. That's got to get a palms up. Mr. Hardy, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule because, I mean, it's no easy feat to be trying to step up and be a leader on that level. So good luck to you and palms up to you. And we appreciate your advocacy. Guys, we want you to know that this coalition, we've got all kinds of beautiful souls that are so talented that do all kinds of beautiful things. So take a listen. You don't have to take my word for it. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We hope by now that you found us on one of our many pages. Palms up to you for supporting us and supporting this mental health messaging. Guys, we want you to know we're not playing in these streets. Small business forum, guys. I want to throw something out there. Let's just jump in, can we? Yeah, okay, great. And the floor is open. Guys, you know, as of recent here in the Prince George's County area, the Healthy DC and Me Leadership Coalition, which is who we are in the district, when we cross out of the district and go into the Maryland and Virginia areas, we become Healthy DMV. and me leadership. So I want you to know the branding is all the same. You recognize that, baby. Who can deny our babies? That's right. We out here to do some work. And as small business owners, we are a little more invested in the community because obviously we're running businesses and it requires that we're paying taxes. We have more accountabilities and responsibilities. And so I can't imagine as an investor and a business owner myself that I would benefit from running a business in a county where crime is so rampant. And I know the county cares about our understandings, but what we do as a people all too often is that we get frustrated and we emote, but we don't channel those emotions so that they can do something positive, like our dear Mr. Hardy here. He saw a way that he could be about the change. He saw a way that he can come forward and do something different that was going to help the city, help the county, help the area. And so palms up to you, and that's what our show and our conversation today is about. Guys, so you know that there's been shootings. Every other day we turn on the news, there's a shooting. So let's just talk about it. Recently there were 2 shootings in District Heights, right? We got crimes all over the place and the guns are going off. And the one thing we can't seem to get the governmental folks to do is to understand the direct correlation of the unchecked, unrecognized, and undocumented mental health that is relative to the fact that folks are not happy, folks are lost, and folks just need to sit down and be accountable. And so guys, I want to ask you all, because you guys represent another level of leadership, being business owners and being folks running for office, I want to understand, and then overseers, my pastors, thank God for having you guys on the platform, you know, because you bring such another level of elevation to the conversation. I'm just going to jump right in. First of all, how are we defining a healthy community? Because maybe there are business owners out there that think this is the norm and they're not supposed to say anything. So let's talk about that. What are we defining as healthy community? Anybody?
Okay, so in my opinion, a healthy community has a balance.
Okay.
It has a set of resources. It has the children. It has generations. That's what a healthy balance is. It looks like to me a lot of our seniors are being, and that's where the ones who don't understand what a matriarch really means step into a place where they had no type of guidance. So it kind of throws off the balance of what that looks like. Because remember, our grandmother, our mother, the aunt, the neighbor, the store, your mother's down the street, 6 blocks over. Everybody knew your business before you got
That's
home.
right. And don't leave out the candy lady.
Well, you
know
know
the
you can't leave the candy lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
I'm just saying.
well, think about the uncle that's down the street washing the cars.
Absolutely.
You know,
the village.
The village. It was definitely a village. And nowadays, because morale is not being taught the way we are used to it. Remember, we are Generation X. X had a little bit of a difference when it came to morale and value. We're talking millennial Gen Z. Now, as much as I hate being this technical, what I am learning and discovering with my own children as I get a little bit more wiser and seasoned and they're getting older, they're changing what we changed with our parents. Remember, the music of the 70s wasn't the music of the 80s. The 80s wasn't of the 90s. The 90s of the 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
Even with the morale, we didn't have social media, the internet, so much other stuff working against us as we do now.
But let's talk about that as well. Our parents wasn't so afraid to let our kids outside either.
That's a good point.
But times changed because my parents, you know, it was, we can go outside.
First of all, hold up. How old are you? No, I'm just
Oh, you know, that's a good point. We should have been checking the generations right now. He old enough. Look, he old enough.
I'm a person that speaks on ageism. Having to be the millennial in the room all the time.
Absolutely.
You know, I've had to educate both ways.
Right, that's right.
That's
right.
Amen. So you straddling fences is what we. I'm just saying because what you just said.
Oh, I like that. Woo! See, when you bring the small business owners together, you get words like, look,
I'm from the baby boomer.
Hold on.
Baby boomer.
And we can't all talk at the same time. When you get multiple generations in the room and you get elevation in your conversation, you get words like conduit. You get words like straddling the fence. And now we're baby boomers. Here come the baby boomers in the room. I'm just saying. So you can believe that we represent, right? Anybody love you guys guys. Thanks for chiming in. You all have made some wonderful points. Does anybody want to elaborate on that before we move
Yeah,
on?
because I actually
Come
want
on,
to go
Sherman.
deeper into the conversation about that, because
Right.
what's happening is a lot of the generations, and to answer your question, I'm 37. I'm actually the average age of Prince
Woo!
Georgians.
You found not to be. You on the line. You stepping on the line.
Very much so. And that's why if you say a millennial,
You're
I
right.
have to
You like
remind
that.
folks
That's
that
right.
we have
You
progressed.
done done some
But
living. Mhm.
That's what they say, keep on living,
Keep
you'll
on
find
living.
out.
That's right.
So, you know, right now, a lot of the younger generations, I mean, it's a lot of confusion that's going on. They're searching for identity.
Yes,
And they're also
that's a good
trying
point.
not to be the same as what they have, you know, seen before them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, a lot of times it's such that pull and that tug to be the anti,
Yes.
you know, the so out of the norm that it's kind of, you know, being, you know, it just seems different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's often unexcusable. I mean, there's some things that we can talk about, and of course, you know, that's just out of line. But when it comes to behavior, you know, we have to understand that, you know, and I don't see why parents say, "Oh, each generation feel like it's getting you know worse and worse," because you know it's just something that we were not accustomed to.
The
but
boundaries
we
are
have to
getting
break
looser.
chains.
Yes.
You know, and I think that it's a process of communication. We have to find that commonality and understanding, because you know, as I've gotten older, I realized that at 37, what my mom probably was going through, and she didn't have all the answers.
Good point.
So let's talk about
Great
that.
point.
Are we often
Great
Right.
point.
But remember,
Yeah,
remember your
wisdom.
grandmothers used to say, "I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me."
Wow.
But never gave a true
You have to tell them how
meaning
to.
or definition of what is better.
Right.
And so each year, each generation, like ourselves, the boomer.
Mm-hmm. I don't. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Mhm.
All right.
You see how she Don't get it twisted. Thumbs up. It's my show. I'm 25 if I want to be. Thumbs up. I don't know what they talking about. I don't know what they talking. What you talking about?
Girl, I don't know.
Okay.
But what I was saying was, okay, so she is part of that Gen X team, because we both, of course, are not. We're like 16 apiece. So at this point, if she wanted us to be better than her,
Yeah.
and she didn't have instructions on how that looked, and we wanted you to be better than us with no instruction from her, all we know is it gotta look better. It doesn't have to mentally be better. It just has to look
Because
better.
honestly, we don't know what's going on.
But
Something they
see-
gave us though
But that is.
the core.
But that's the truth.
Just
What they give us
religiously.
the core. Yeah.
The core.
That's
of how
right.
you're
The
supposed
base.
to live.
That's right. The foundation.
See, as long as you have that foundation,
Foundation.
it
There
helps
you
us a whole
go.
lot better going forward.
But
Today they don't have a
But let's
foundation.
talk
right.
about that.
And I
because
don't believe that they
who said that
searching for
who
identity.
said her foundation was any better than the one we was already created with?
Because the conversation now is.
Well, can I speak?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Well, hold on, he was into his points.
No,
I want to hear your
she
point.
wants to
No,
say
but I do want to hear your point since you was in the lane. The conversation. You see
Yeah. So,
That's called respect.
so what a lot of the younger kids are saying is that, you know, we saw that, you know, mama did, you know, she without, you know, a father, or did, you know, the strong black woman or this and that. And a lot of people are saying, well, that's not the case. Like, we don't know what you were actually thinking. We only saw what you had to do. And for that aspect, you know, that's not a roadmap.
Yeah.
That's still repeating that cycle. Because,
Absolutely.
you know, people do what they see.
Yeah.
But if there was a conversation within families of what's going on and how it impacts and stuff like that, because, you know, we all want to be protective. We want to say, oh, well, you know, I don't want the kids to know this and that.
Right. That's how we came up.
You do have to understand
That's
what's
right.
going on.
That's right. And I think I hear you saying they were winging it, right? And they got it done, but they didn't have anybody to answer to. They just got it done.
That would
Do
be
as
like-
I
that'd be
do
like
as I
your
say,
age range.
not as I do.
Right.
Come on.
That's not, you're
Right.
not talking about the youth of the 20 and below now.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Well, I don't know. Were you referencing
You referencing
the
your age
Good
group.
question.
I'm referring generationally.
Generationally,
you know,
he's saying.
Well,
youth
right now,
foundation comes
everything
from
from
a kid.
21, 20, I'm going to say 25 going backwards, it's a whole new technology. It's a whole
It
new
is.
game.
It is. But they're
Everything
still
we're
watching.
speaking on is,
Yeah.
but the problem is what they're watching, they have more programming than anything. When
Well,
I
that's-
make the statement, there are no drug dealers, there's no street hustlers, anything. That's one of the worst things happening to us right now. You know what? Even in the 60s, you had the dope pushers, the number runners. 70s, you had the pimps, the players in the street. 80s, you had the drug dealers. They all did their thing, but Those were people that the youngins can look in the neighborhood at the local heroes. You know, you can't be James Brown, you can't be Michael Jackson, you're not gonna be Puff Daddy. But you can look at the neighborhood drug dealer, the pimp, and see how he dressed. But in them days, they had moral standards different from now. Even if you wanted to be in the street, they made sure the young, you ain't gonna be out here hustling. And if you gonna do things, there was order to it. So they taught you codes. Today, no more drug dealers. The only thing they learned from Instagram, TV, and you just look at the rappers that they dusting up making millionaires now. They can't rap. You can look at them and say, how would they make him a millionaire?
Well, they don't want anybody that can rap.
Because they want your child to be following
they want
that image.
prototype.
So right now,
That's right.
they have met what they needed to do to program your children to get in the house. It's been a cycle. It's been working since the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
And now they're working on the children.
That's right. Hey, that's a great point. Hey guys, tune in. It's real talk. We gotta have these conversations in our community, talking to the small business owners in the community, and trying to figure out what we're gonna do about these guns going off. And we gotta get some perspective about it, and we gotta be intentional about what we're trying to do. Come on, Pastor Coles, you had a point to make. Thank you for your patience.
Now, when I was raised, and that saying was very popular, children were to be seen and not heard. And that's how I grew up. But also, our parents weren't trying to be our friends either.
That's right. Good point.
You know, my family, they had social clubs and everything. They threw parties and stuff. But that was adult time. When it was time for that, we went to our rooms.
Absolutely.
We were taught that. And even as an adult, my parents still did not allow me to party with them. And I think this is where the downfall. And then another downfall, and I'm just gonna keep it 100. My mother said the worst thing happened when they call themselves desegregating us. When we had to stand together as a community, we were more powerful. I kind of grew up at 9th and O down at P Street. I mean, there was the drunks, the liquor store, but I can very well remember my little butt would try to get off the porch and start walking, and they'd be like, and you know Miss Ann don't want you down here. Or if I went to by the liquor store, the owner would come out, give me some bubble gum and say, and you know you get right back up on that porch. They did not violate. Now it's not, they don't care. The kids can walk up, they'll share their drink with them. You know, parents sitting in, drinking with the kids, smoking drugs, trying to be their
Look
friend.
at the one factor you said though. They're younger parents now. See, when I drove the train, 2 o'clock in the morning, you got a 15-year-old with a 2-year-old baby dragging her down. Come to F1, I'm listening. So see, and the mothers now, oh, my baby, she's pregnant again, 16. Hey, I'm gonna be a meatball gamer and all this old nonsense. So the generations are younger, having babies younger, allowed to have relationships younger. So that's part of the gap problem right there. So when I'm explaining that we be on the bus, we knew not to curse in front. We go to get a job. We knew to have a certain poise when you. When these kids come in, yeah, you hiring. You like they know better than that. No, they don't. When you this small, watching your mama 15 twerking and all her friends twerking and smoking. You watching grandma twerking and smoking and carrying and cussing and up a minute. When they growing up, this is what in their developmental ages, they think that's normal. So they don't know no better.
And then too,
all right, guys, we got 5 questions. Come on, go. Then two.
I think what hurts, and now I'm going to speak as from a pastor, some of the mistakes that I've seen us make in the church, that we're so busy helping other people that we forget about our home. And I've seen homes broke up for that. I've seen our children, because they were looking for love, end up having babies. And we didn't. This religious thing. See, I'm gonna keep it 100 because we destroy our own households, saying we doing God's work, but
CME Leadership Coalition. Come on, leaders.
Because remember, I done raised a whole lot of kids in-house.
Yes, he has. Yes, palms up.
And see, that's why I like talking to adults, because everybody adults and other parents, you don't know what's going on. You just off your own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The village was so important. Today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
they're,
right.
and if you think about what a
House
village is, I mean,
Mhm.
it
Ask
just
if you're gonna
what
join the
influenced
set.
you. You know, that village could be, you know, a whole chaotic mess,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still a village and they're still learning.
Yeah.
But you know, we have to find those right spaces
The door.
with the correct exposure.
I don't
You
want
know,
mine learning
behind.
in the village.
Yeah. well,
Well, this is my.
from
First of
that
all,
particular
that-
village.
Yeah, hey guys, it's your girl. I told you this is gonna be a different edition of the Palms Up Show. I actually let them talk sometimes, huh? How about that? You hear this now? Palms up. If we can't be humble and keep it real, what we're gonna do? Hey guys, it's your girl, and as you see, we are moving around on the set. No, he's
She gonna
fine. The
sit?
chair's gonna go right here. We're on the set, and we have business owners that are walking in because this is a business forum, and it's okay. Come on. Yes. Okay, no problem. No, just put the chair in. They're giving me instructions behind the scene. It's the Palms Up Show. Eventually, we're gonna have the whole production and everything, and you're not gonna see all this, but you know all that pomp and circumstance about some real stuff. Yeah, it's just people walking in to sit down. They want to join the conversation.
So-
Welcome, you beautiful queen. Hey,
As
you
far
wanted to
as
say
gun
something?
violence,
Mhm.
you know, I think that's something that you know you've been trying to get
Mhm.
you know and talk about. I'm trying to figure out how accessible, you know, because it seems like it's definitely you know, like you say, becoming a problem here, but. I
You're
just
sitting
don't.
past
become-
because
Well,
it's
yeah,
past it.
yeah,
And let me
you
do
know,
this. I want
yeah.
to stop and give a segue because I know that you got some wonderful information because your campaign, you know, you've been running and want to get this word out. I want to make certain that we as business owners understand that some of us are on different levels with this. Some of us are more aware of what we're talking about as opposed to others, and that's why we did the forum. Welcome, you beautiful queen, and thank you so much for coming by. So excited to be able to bring this content and to bring the conversation on another. Mental health has levels to it, guys, and if we don't start peeling back and having these conversations and discussions with folks all over the county, with folks in different levels in the county, we're gonna miss the whole point. The gun violence, the abuse, the homelessness, guys. I can go on and on. We've got to get to the root, and there are some conversations that only we can have when we're the communities that are going through like this. And so we're talking today to some beautiful souls, and we're going to invite our beautiful Melanie to the conversation because I know she's sitting over there on some good information for us. And then we're also going to have our beautiful newest member to the table join us. The first question today, guys, was how would you define a healthy community? And while we throw over to our newest member at the table, I want my other members to be thinking about the reality of carjacking. I told you we got a list of things. We can go all over the place with this. We can attack this as if it's one problem more prevalent than the other, or we can be real and go to the root so we can start with all of what we're seeing. Because there's something missing in our community. You heard us talk about we live by a code when we came up generationally. Well, I want you to know something when we talk about generationally and we make fun and we got our millennials and our Gen Zs and our baby boomers. I need you guys to understand something. This life we live in doesn't come with a manual. It doesn't come with a book, right? So we've got to learn and adopt some new traditions. Oh, somebody told you it was a book? You got a book?
In my house.
In your back, the Bible? Yeah, you know, if that would work, we wouldn't even be here because that Bible's been around for a minute. You know what I'm saying? The reality is that it's going to take a little more than what we were taught to get to the root of this problem. We've got to be real. And I'm going to tell you why. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to tell you something. Ages 10 through 34 is the population that is leaving us more often than they need to be. That's right, suicide. Because if we don't get this right, those that don't get killed by a bullet will certainly subscribe to suicide if we don't get better about what we're doing. So we got to be we're bringing you this content, and that's why we are hosting the Small Business Forum, because we want to make a difference, want to be impactful, but to do that, we've got to be able to open up and hear. Thank you, guys. We're coming from the Mass Studio because we intend to mindfully make a difference with this mental health messaging that we're doing. And rather than get mad with your emotions out there because things aren't going, you don't have what you need, channel that emotion. When you see forums and beautiful souls like this to bring about a change, then join us, because that's what it's going to take. We need to get back to the village, as you heard our dear coalition leader say. Welcome to the conversation, and I would love for you to help folks understand who you are and the nature of your business and why it was that you thought it'd be great that you should join this roundtable, because we'd like to hear from different voices. Welcome.
Thank you for the welcome.
And you
Yes,
are?
My name is Shanita Ann Grimes. I wear a few different hats.
Awesome.
Miss Ann.
See how we do? You never know.
So I didn't know. It was essentially something that I just made a priority.
Awesome. Awesome.
One, for the business side, being honest. And then two, to be more involved with other leaders.
Awesome. And that's so fair and so genuine. And we thank you. This is the Palms Up Show. We do our Palms Up Show every Tuesday because, you know, with mental health and any kind of situation we go through as a people, we have a core. As Mr. Dip was saying, we know the Bible, the backdrop, the church, and things of that nature. And when we go through, we know we put our hands up, you know. Guys, I want to understand something. It's the Palms Up Show, and I just wanted you to know that that's what we're doing. We're not some cult over here. We're just giving honor where it's due, because we don't know the answers, but we certainly want to be at the table to make an impact. And we've got a network as business owners. We have investments. And we've got situations in the county as well. So guys, thank you for joining me. As I said, we've got a real conversation here. We were talking about the carjackings. I want to know something that I saw something that crossed the feed about 2 weeks ago on my social media, and a young, I say young lady because I believe we're all young. We're young at heart. But she was a senior, and there was a group of at least 3, if not 4, young men. The video was kind of dark, but it was circulated around social media. You probably know what I'm speaking of. I believe that the narrative is that she was coming home with groceries in her front lawn. And we've seen this before, and I know we've seen worse than this before, but there has to be a point where something's going to grab you enough, because we all look at the news. We're all pretty much social media. That we're seeing these images. We're seeing the reality of this play out. Why are we waiting for it? And not that we're intentionally waiting, but if we sit back and don't do anything, come out and engage, then when it happens to your mother, your grandmother, then where's your support? And that's what we've got to do. We've got to raise our voices. So guys, carjackings in the city apparently is up. We understand for ourselves, being business owners, moving into our new business location. We've experienced a situation where a vehicle was almost taken. Something. So you know why we have to talk about this stuff and get involved? Because we're carrying some trauma from other events, many of us. And when something in the county happens, as we're seeing on the news, you don't know how that's going to hit you. Palms up. And that's why we do this show, because there are levels to mental health. You don't always have to be diagnosed with a specific thing. Trauma starts in the womb, researchers taught us. Yes. And so that's why we do this. So without any ado, guys, the second question, as it relates to the understanding of a senior in her front yard with a group of young men, maybe 4, and no more than 20. And I didn't see anybody probably younger than 19 in that picture. And not only did they accost her the first time, they whittled her down to the ground. One was in the bag, the other one, she was literally jumped. Basically, you jumped. Yeah. What is going on out there? That's not some mental health exposures to be questioned. Who in their right mind, guys? Minds. I just want to leave you with that. How would having a healthy community impact your business? Or how does not having a healthy community impact your business? Anybody? When you see these images and you think, because I mean, think about it. You're leaving work and you now become that woman with the bags on your arm, and these 4 gentlemen show up. Are we thinking like that? Or we just, everybody like me, you just bad, right? We're going to get them. You know, we got to be real.
That's right. If you get them, you're going to jail for
Hey, come on with that conversation
when
now.
they shoot, beat, kill you, you'll see them back on the street 6 months.
Anybody
Try
want to touch
That's
that?
the core of the problem.
Try that night.
I
I work for a senior building.
So what are we saying, Ashley? Are we saying that we have an issue with our
Laws.
law enforcement, with our justice systems, with the legal system? What are we saying to small business
I'm
owners?
gonna say it's the legal. I'm gonna say the legal system.
I'm definitely
And
gonna
the
say
reason- The reason I say that, and this is why bullying
Mhm.
is so in our communities
Mhm.
now. A prime example, I had a family to call me who has a 5-year-old that's in daycare, and she's told them not to fight, and this kid just keep hitting them and hitting them. And from the law standpoint, if her son was to turn around and hit him back, the law would punish him. See, when I grew up, it was whoever took the first lick, the law took. Now, everybody go down. So that means now you done got caught up in the system because now they got your fingerprints. You got to prove your innocence while your whole household is destroyed. So now you got trauma going on. But I also
That's a
learned
You
that the law is not based on emotion, it's was in black and white. This country was money.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna keep it 100. The money come in with the laws.
So Brown asked the question, was it a young man is your question?
Yeah, it's a young boy.
And see another thing, all the mothers, I see it all the time, tell their sons, don't fight back. Somebody touch you, don't fight because they don't want to get in trouble. It's one of the worst things you could ever do.
Yeah.
And I'm a super example of it. My entire life, put your hands on me, I was trying to tear you off from the jump. The one example, when I got expelled for the last time in Supla High School, I couldn't do nothing. Somebody hit me, jumped at me, I say, and I didn't respond. And I learned that lesson. When you don't get at them, they're going to keep picking with you, keep messing with you. But see, the system itself, I don't mind saying flat out, with PG County especially, the black men, it's a whole different system.
All right.
Jack it up.
So this is a perfect segue, Mr. What are you running for again, Mr. Hardy?
Executive, yes.
Yeah, and so when you hear something like that, having run, for, because let's be real, we're all leaders. Nobody likes politics. Let's just let that out there now, right? We don't like politics, but we're not, for the most part. Let me disclosure and a caveat. I don't. Anything I say, right? But the truth of the matter is this: when we hear something as strong as in PG County, the richest county, and we were told at some point for color. So when you hear that, Mr. Hardy, and you understand that the conversation is real when it comes to our black men and what's going on, where does that take you? I'm wondering.
Definitely, there's always trauma, and like you say, it starts in the womb sometimes too. But I come from the same,
Philosophy.
as that. I had a aunt that would say, "I beat you before God get the news." So, definitely, initially I was violent, but my mom, was like, "Hey, we're not doing this."
Yeah.
But definitely, like you say, it's a different time, and people are afraid of this system because one way or another, they gonna get you.
Yeah.
Whether you damn if you do, you damn if you don't, pretty much, because otherwise you're gonna continue the cycle. But what I'm hearing is that we want more enforcement. We don't want people who are accused of violent offenses to be released so early, so freely.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. No, it's a little deeper than that. What we really are saying is that we're concerned about the folks that are making these decisions after these folks are apprehended, and that kind of, for me, is a double. Because if the system is designed to put these perpetrators back on the street so they take each other out and they don't never have to deal with it, if that's really the plan, then we should be enraged, because as mental advocates, the importance of making sure to hold folks accountable. But watch this. Why are we always having this conversation from the perspective of the citizen? What about the officer that's locking them up, or that thinks that a system like that, designed like that, is okay to show up to work every day and to participate in that? So it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. So the accountability piece is what I'm trying to get at. How does not having a healthy community impact a business owner that understands that the system might need some tweaking? So what do you do?
So
do you just funk? Do you just let it stay the way it is?
Well,
Feeling that way?
No, I definitely believe that we should end cash bail, but I also
Cash bail?
Yeah, cash
Why?
bail.
Why is that? I don't understand why they said it.
It's when we talk about systems and financing, that's what that is.
Okay.
You know, you're.
They're making money off the bail system.
I mean,
they're making
we have to employ all these people.
Awesome.
You know, so keeping people in the system, and then you know the bail bondsmen, they get they share of it as well. You know, and families don't get that money back.
So are you saying just don't do bonds? Is that, am I being ignorant to think that you said no bonds?
I always got mine back. If you pay it up front, you get it back.
What for?
I mean, that's why we're making conversations. That's why we got to talk.
You pay your bail, go to court, you get your money
That
back.
is not always the case.
It's
though.
not always the
It's not
case.
always.
And that's why we're having this
It's not
conversation,
always
guys.
a point case because if they can't afford to pay the whole bill, they pay a bail bondsman. So that fine, but just like
But that's
last
what I'm
time I was
talking
up in Marlboro, the lady told I ain't never put them underwear on, man. Last time I had to wear them kind of drawers. I'm like, I got my money ready to go. And she explained that now they're gonna no matter how you come here, because you get paid if they're there for 24 hours.
Yeah.
See, stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
system
And I'm
work.
saying, and let's talk about this, because if you have to listen to this conversation, maybe your life hasn't taken you down a path where you understand the context of this, and we get that. But let's put it in context where you might understand it. School system. There's a system there. And I'll tell you an interesting story really quickly. Our children, we're advocates. School systems don't want to see advocates coming. You know, because the government is getting the money to take care of them. But what happens and why advocates will get involved, we talked about bullying a little while ago. Our children hear voices out there. And that's why when I say voices, you know, with schizophrenia and many mental health challenges, you have folks that have visible voices. That's why we said there are levels to this. And if we don't figure this out, then our children are going to inherit that which we still haven't taken care of. Many of us are still taking 30 and 40 years to get our stuff together. We want to do better for our children, we heard say. And that's why we bring the minds to the table. Guys, there are levels. And everybody has a role to play. And everybody has to be accountable in this. So if your children are in school and challenges, and what do you do when you come home and your baby says he's being bullied or she heard voices and she just doesn't want to be here anymore? Right? This is real stuff. Real stuff.
I don't believe you don't know. It's hands down. We won't come together.
Well, but you know, and that's a good
Major-
point. That's what we can't figure out. We
can't
know.
figure out how to come together.
Apparently.
You can't discipline
What
nobody
they
in
doing
child. So I mean,
come on.
I beg your
Come on.
death.
Well, of
No,
course
sir,
you would.
sir.
Of
But
course
you
you
would be right back
would.
in the White House.
Wearing them county drawers, of
Right,
course you would.
right.
Parts up.
Let me
Come
tell
on
you
to the
something.
conversation.
Honestly,
Hold
you see that, and you know me.
on. Right.
That's not usually what happens.
Right.
I go to school, bus kid in the head in a minute. And
You know,
the principal
that's the
calls
problem.
me. The
Can we go to
parents
the-
love me.
No,
You're gonna
no,
do. That's
because
the
this
business.
is mental health.
And the kids
But
love
see,
me.
Mental
that's
health.
the village.
Hold
I
on,
don't say
guys.
just
Hold
beat
on one
the kids
minute.
half to death, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Hold on, guys. Let's keep this order.
Teachers and
Let's keep this order because we got the left side holding it down and the right side hanging on in there. So come on in here, Right High. Chime on in. Chime on in here and tell us what you're hearing. I mean, we got seniors being carjacked on the line.
I don't know the story. And
That's
if there's
fine.
no cash bails, people stay until their court date and sentencing?
No. What I'm
Good
saying
question.
is
Great
that
question.
they are released.
What?
Yeah.
Can you not interject and allow me to? We've done this a couple of times.
Let me do this for you. Let me give you a segue. He was brave enough because you know these politicians, all of them got an invitation.
Right.
He showed up. So we want to benefit from that. So come on with this
Right.
message,
I mean,
Mr.
that's
Hardy.
the movement. DC doesn't have cash bail.
Mm.
I mean, this is.
That's why they
this
keep
is
getting
happening
back on the
everywhere.
street.
But
Oh.
I'm not talking about certain individuals because
Right.
I think when we
But that's
roll out
dangerous.
programs, we definitely have to have community input.
Yes.
And I am never advocating for violent offenders to be
Absolutely.
released the same day. But some things, some people don't actually need to be held.
Absolutely.
There are certain things that people just get put in the system, and then now they have lost their jobs.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know, they
yes.
can't afford to get out. So
Yes.
now we're penalizing poverty.
Right. Well, let's take that a step further. Yeah, go ahead with the cash bail.
I want to know what the no cash bail
Well,
is. That
really, it's no cash bail.
for nobody.
So you said DC
No.
doesn't have it. So I do
No.
know in DC, right, if you get hemmed up, you got to wait till you see the judge next morning, weekdays. That's what that looks like.
So what is the
So
deal with
they'll
the
let them
county
off
that they're not
That's
that
on
they're not able?
Mm.
That, so what you're saying is that in the DC situation where they're able to see the judge right away. You're saying that the county situation, they may not see the judge right away, but the idea would be to still let them out until they could see the judge?
Yeah.
So sounds like you got to do a screening process so that you know which ones can subscribe to that and which ones can't. Well, the one thing that I want to understand beyond all of that is when you're doing this screening, mental health has to come into play, which means that you now have to get community organizations involved, because I think that this is where the county keeps getting it wrong.
But
they keep using these programs and these processes, and the definition of insanity
is doing the same thing, right? But see, my thing is, when I become county executive, I want to transform the entire system, because I recognize that you just cannot incarcerate someone and just hold them in, as being their babysitters, adult, what's called.
So you got to create.
We have to have, counselors and more, stuff, and we have to have social workers who are able to help people who are, being, let out of prison, because for the simple fact of, and it should definitely be, I'm not saying mandatory, but definitely offer and highly suggested for people, because
it's a thought. It's an idea.
If we continuously have the same people, because I work for, the Fort I patrol, I looked at people workers all the time. You would see repeat offenders, repeat offenders. You know who these individuals are, and you know their circumstances. Where are the resources to help them?
Absolutely. Well, that takes us to today's conversation.
Have you ever went into the prisons to talk to the guys that go in and out the prisons now? Because what I see is they don't care about being in jail. Right. They come in, they know the CO. Right. They know what's for dinner, what date it is. Yeah. Hey man, I got 3 years here, and I got to go kick.
I heard somebody.
They
cool.
Yeah.
What did we just say?
Yeah, keep doing the same thing.
That's programmed in.
But let me say something. Mike Epps just did a special shout out to Mike Epps for giving him props on the phones up show. Not that he needs it, but we got to get this message from wherever we can get it from. And Mike Epps was talking about how in his journey, he went back home to do his comedy, and that's got to feel good coming from knowing his journey and going back home and being successful. And they gave him a Mike Epps day, a street. He got all kinds of things. Yeah, but the thing about it is, one of the things he said that stayed with me is that in his journey, the old dudes coming out of jail made jail seem so great that he felt like if he didn't go and get that badge, he would. Well, the point I'm making, he's present day now getting his stuff together. He done tripped so many times trying to put it back together, just because in his journey, when he was old enough for us to get in front of him to catch it, it was the old heads conversation that it wasn't that they were bad. It was just that there was nothing else around, probably image-wise, more impactful than what they were saying to him. And in their messaging, even though they were positive for him in terms of, it was cool to follow an old head, he went to jail because it was also something that the old heads were doing. So I like these conversations.
All the rappers that are famous and rich, who are they?
That's right. It doesn't matter.
Got active gang members that are the famous
Absolutely.
People going in and out of jail for murder, mayhem.
That's right.
You're a millionaire.
But look at this.
Murder. So it's cool.
But look at
follow the same
Look at this. That's right. Communities. Everybody's going to play their role. Everybody's going to be there no matter what. But my point and why we do this is because there's some of you all out here of a male nature that understand this content, that if we don't broaden what our children have to pull from, then they will start going after those pretenders, and we still stay in that cycle. So you're making valid points, but the point is, as you all just said, what are we going to do different? Because one thing we can agree on is that insanity is hearing these guns go off and seeing this carjacking. Let's move this conversation on. We got to do a part 2 because we got so much to talk about. All right, guys. All right, third question. Has your life or business, and let's be real, we didn't do this because we're going to solve the world problems tonight. We're starting the conversation, planting seeds out there, hopefully so you guys can understand that everybody plays a role and we can all do something, because none of us wants to wait until it finds us. Business been impacted by mental health realities. We've been throwing this word around a lot. I always like to get everybody's input because mental health means something different to everyone, and that is not wrong ever. We always have to be talking about it. And you heard me talking about suicide. One of the biggest things that they tell me when we're doing our workshops with our youth is that there's a generational divide that's wide enough that is causing us to lose these children. And if we don't get off of what we think we know and start humbling to hear what they're talking about, hear their hearts, and find other ways, then we're going to keep doing this. Come on.
Do you think there's a difference in the child that says, I'm going to go hang myself, I'm going to cut my wrist, and say our generation, I don't care. You're gonna get shot, killed. If you out here in these streets, that's what just happens. It comes along with. I don't care. That's what we do. That's what we expect.
No, I mean I do think it's a difference. Yeah.
I'm a
One is
little
more immediate.
bit, not happy with that statement in a sense, and I come from both sides of that fence. I come from the parent who has dealt with a child who has tried to commit suicide 3 different times in 3 years. I'm also a person who deals with senior disabled buildings, which means I'm dealing with an adult mental health situation. And there are certain things we just can't control. We understand that. However, it also depends on the level of care and the level of attention and the detail that you pay attention to the human brain and how it operates. It's not fair that we can say we don't care anymore. It's just not. You know,
What you mean? Like,
we were much stronger back then.
He was saying, he was giving an example. He
Because
was
we got plenty then and now where a child, especially no love from mom and think, I don't care no more. I'm going to the street. I don't care. I'm not gonna hang a rope on my neck, but I'm gonna
and
go out
that's where
here,
it's different.
hustle, kill, maim. I don't care anymore. I don't care what happens to me. So
so-
it's kind of the same road.
So when
You
we
just ain't taking your own life immediately.
well, that's important
But
because
that's
hold
a
on,
pri-
you
that's
did a
that's
lot of
pri-
stuff back in the
Exactly.
day, but you're still here to talk about it.
Correct.
The guy that was with you that did it is not.
Correct.
So it's definitely a difference,
Well,
okay?
sometimes
Whether
you
it
commit
finds you or
suicide
not.
and actually not die.
Yeah, well, the reality, we talking about the ones that do it and do die.
Right.
And that's what we got to focus on. The fact that life lost is a red flag. And there's no way to put that in perspective if they're dead. They're not here to help
Well,
us.
you
help
also
them.
have young guys, kids who went out and did, like I said, they got killed in the streets because they didn't care also. So on both ends is you want it in your life or you feel hopeless and you just don't care.
It's
There's a
the
difference.
result. No, let me say this to you. Even if I hear what you're
I
doing,
hear
the mindset, the correlation of it. But we're talking about mental health, and the other side of mental health is what? Behavioral health. So immediate represents something else. Keep saying it's levels. It's levels. I'm going to show up as a counselor to help that kid ready to do this with a whole nother playbook than I am going to show up. Because understand they both need help. I think I hear you saying. But to loop them together and say that it's no different, no, that's not true. Because again, it's going to go back to what you're going through and why you feel like that. Because here's the thing, Dip. We walk the community passing out oranges. And when that gun that you showed me every day and that I don't care and I'll shoot, I'm telling you, when you show up and meet me at that community center every day asking for that orange, you didn't want the orange, it was this that happened. I found your heart. If I find your heart, I got a chance to keep you here, right? In that scenario. Over here, they give me their heart and still leave me and go do it. So what I'm saying to you, when I say it's levels, guys out there, because making good points, and that's why we do this. It is important to understand that everybody's walk is their walk and their journey. It can look the same. It can even sound the same. But the reason why the suicide rate keeps climbing is because we assume we know why they're leaving here. And we've got to humble and find out so we can bring the right level of tools. I'll give you an example. Cardiovascular, got everything else. They're looking at what's getting ready to take you out of here, right? And they're going to approach that with a diagnosis and some sort of reality to fix it or a treatment plan. And then they're going to look at everything else and give you a treatment plan for that as well. Just because it's all going on within you and it's all got you feeling some kind of way, you got different treatment plans. And so the point I'm making is dangerous if we don't acknowledge the levels. That's all I'm saying. They're both need trouble. They both need help. So guys, I want to keep moving this along because I've got some wonderful folks that are helping us to keep doing this. We don't let this conversation drag on. The point is to plant the seed. Help you guys understand that as business owners, you hear all this intellect in this room, you hear all this wisdom in this room. Don't take this for granted, guys. Everybody has a role to play, and our young people, they want to hear from us, and they have hearts, even with those guns in their hands. But if you're not the person, if you're not the remedy to understand that you're not in your lane. See, Big Dip is controversial for a reason. He lives that. He's done that. He's raised how many kids?
13.
You see what I'm saying? You come out of 13 children raised in different perspectives and dealing with school systems that are twisted and be here at this point in his life to have this perspective, man, you got to give credit to God. Because we have all made it through something, but it's not about us anymore. We do this work because of our children. We're going to do something for our children that we couldn't manage to do for ourselves. Palms up? Hey guys, we appreciate this, guys. We love this dialogue. I love you guys for doing this. This is so important. Our community needs this. I asked you guys about how life or business has been impacted by mental health because I need to hear this conversation. I need the folks out there to tell me where. Diagnosis on any level. You know what mental health looks like sometimes when it's out of control. We all, we make a fun and we say, sometimes you let your crazy out, right? We all got that moment when we're in the store.
Yep.
And you know, we go postal for a minute. We go to the edge and we come back. Everybody got a story. Don't know what it was. Maybe that relationship we came out of wasn't the best. But we all have a minute. The definition of mental health and mental illness is two different things. Mental health is about the satisfactory understanding of your behavior. Mental illness is that satisfactory comes with issues. And that's where it comes about the responsibility and accountability. What I mean by issues, that depression that keeps hanging around, that keep that thought in the back of your mind, but you're going to get on and go on, and you're going to try to do it anyway. Feeling away in that dark space, but you're going to try to pray. And then you get to a point where you realize you can't. I'm gonna answer that and tell you levels because I know you've seen it. You know you've seen it. We got our friends and our family members that go from 0 to 10 in a minute, and if you don't help them or if they don't ask for help, they might get to 20, and then it might be too late.
So you ever heard them say what they say? Don't mess with old man.
Why?
See, I understand it now.
Okay.
Wife, I don't like these kids. I'm working like that. You might be swollen up and cut up. I got enough problems. Please,
Uncle Joe.
Please step over here.
Uncle Joe.
And mental. I'm getting ready to hit you with it. I'm getting ready to hit y'all all with it. And what did we use? The reason why we get annoyed with mental health, because the way we dealt with mental health, we called them retarded. Come on, be real out there. Come on for a minute. Come on. Come on. It was wrong then and it's wrong now. That's why we got to get educated. Come on, black people. If we're going to save our children, we got to have these hard conversations and we got to look in these mirrors and we got to be real. Nobody wants to talk about mental health, but guess what? Over here, 4710 off Place Suite 100 with the Healthy DCME Leadership Coalition. We know about it. We know about it. Come on, Harvey.
I would definitely say I am glad and happy that we are moving into this space and starting this because, you know, coming up, you know, I always hear black people don't get depressed.
Come on now. Come on, all these myths.
It manifested through anxiety, through hypertension, and so many other things what my grandma had. So, you know, this is something that's it's very crucial. Like you say, we have to talk about it. And we have to be accepting to what's being presented as well.
Hey, and let me just sum it up with this and go to this next question. I love this. That means we got to do part 2. Oh, good, you got to answer. So come on with it. Come on. Yes, she is, and she's talking some beautiful stuff. I'm to have something to say, but this show got me doing something different.
I get it. That's why you're in the position.
That's right.
You do it so well.
Thanks so much, Queen.
So I was trying to remember all the questions. So the healthy communities, I would definitely say it starts at home.
Amen.
Maybe not unfortunate, but surprisingly, I agree more with Big Dip. That's what shirt say. So
that's intentional. So you go.
Okay. So it is, I think, a little bit not necessarily on purpose by any means, but just happen chance that the Word of God has left a lot of homes.
Oh, come on now.
And I am not mental health at all. I'm a healthcare provider.
That's right.
Emergency medicine and nutrition. But what I can say is in the area of development, you know, when humans develop, when you're an infant, you find your way in the world. That's why you eat everything and touch everything. As you go into a toddler and preschool, before you enter school, now you try to figure out how you impact with the world. That's why they jump off stuff and touch stuff that's hot because they don't know how they're going to be impacted. Phase, then they're trying to figure out what the world is about, and that's why. What's going on? Why is this? Why is that? So that's that age group.
That's when they're the most influential.
And then that school age to that preteen, which I believe you're really focusing on, that's where you figure out your input into the world.
Wow.
So I think that's what we're missing.
Now imagine having all of those in your house and one time.
And many people do, but I think we as adults need to take a little bit more of that ownership.
Amen.
To say, hey, I did not teach my young person how to put their impact into the world, because that's what that age group should be looking for. And again, our mental health experts can kind of help with those who don't develop as properly.
Yes.
But for everyone else, if they don't know how to input or leave their mark on the world in that age group, they'll look for it another way.
Yeah. And you know what I love? What I hear you saying is that we got to be better and do better about helping our young people find their purpose.
You do.
Because if you're walking this life aimlessly, it's so easy to get lost. Hey guys,
Well,
this your girl, this your girl.
You have to figure out how to do
Palms up. We go, oh, I figured it out. That's why I'm doing
I'm
this
saying,
mental
but
health
if-
work.
if you
How
have-
you do that? You humble and you find the resources, and that's what we're
There-
pushing out. If
there
there are
you
no
go.
resources, then we can't, and that's why we do the
You have to
conversation.
walk that
But
way.
we have to.
You have
The
to
thing
walk
is
that
that
every
what we
day
have
to
to
find
do.
it.
But this is the thing. We have to do this to show the powers that be, the people that we're allowing to set the standards for our children, because we're quiet. We're quiet at the voting booths. We're quiet when they have the town hall meetings.
Yeah, and I just want to
hold
finish the.
yourself accountable.
And I just holding yourself accountable, but I just want to finish the last part with
Go
the
ahead.
testimony how about it impacted my life.
Awesome.
So I am literally a product of the 80s. My father used cocaine, and
Okay.
he has cocaine-induced schizophrenia.
Okay.
So to understand or think that people of color or African Americans, not necessarily immigrants, but people who were children of slaves, and
That's
I use
right.
that term for a reason
Yes.
because we want to add black onto everything, but no, that's not fair, because there are certain things that children of slaves had experienced
Yeah.
through slavery,
Yeah.
Jim Crow,
Yeah.
redlining,
We talk
and
about
cocaine.
trauma and starting in the womb, so you got to get deep like that. That's right. Come on.
So my father having schizophrenia now and trying to take care of him, I understand if he didn't find his purpose, he couldn't have gave it to me. So as much as it is, yes, we can help and we can give the resources. We have to be sensitive enough to understand. Some people are still living the effects of what's been done on our people, and politicians don't want to talk about it.
Hey, but
Really
guess what?
teaching.
Let's stay right there.
Right
Hey guys, it's your girl, I love this. That's why we gotta bring people together, and we don't mind going into these communities and bringing this conversation. You yourself, if you're out there, you're hearing this conversation, and you're like, okay, they're talking about me, or maybe that sounds familiar. I'm gonna send you somewhere quickly so that you can get the information, and then I want you to know that you can get a beautiful soul on this end to help you walk that walk, because it is difficult for many, and for many, if you don't have any help or really feel confident about stepping forward and speaking out, because nobody wants to wear the label. Let's be real, the stigma stick out there, and that's why we do this. We want you to find yourself in this conversation so you know you're not by yourself. Absolutely, history plays a part in it many times. Absolutely, not having what you need at home plays a part in it. The reality is that you have the opportunity to take control of who you want to be if you just get some help with it, right? So mimotherskeeper.com is our website, and on that website, you're going to see information for the suicide hotline. You're going to see information that allows you to be able to do an intake on our page. When you do that intake, it's going to allow you to come through to our case management piece, and we're going to talk and find out what is it that you actually need, because sometimes we're just not listening out there. Everything's about a dollar, and especially in our low-income community, a lot of times those federal dollars are just flowing, and nobody's being accountable. I can tell you stories. I have a citizen, I won't make it up, in Black, we don't own this mental health. I have a beautiful Caucasian citizen, beautiful Caucasian citizen who was a senior, and for 9 years, she was traumatized by her neighbor, who was a Black man. And I can tell you that doesn't happen anymore. Palms up. It's levels to this, guys. All you got to do is speak up and reach out and get help. What you need is just around the corner here to help you find that. And mimotherskeeper.com, we do this work because our coalition is committed to making sure we change this dialogue. Those politicians you're talking about that don't care, we invite them to the table. And see, we only want to talk about and talk with the ones that show up, because this is real. We're not doing yesterday's mental health. We're not doing yesterday's conversation. Today's problems of mental health are much more complex. And it's time to broaden the conversation, because our intentions are to save lives. Black people don't own this mental health, but we're usually at the bottom end of the scale, and we generally don't have as many resources as we need. That's why we do this. Palms up. If you're someone that's serving in a position of capacity to help for public office, and you're not doing the right thing, and you're going along with things that you know are causing people harm, shame on you. Shame on you. Where is the humanity in that? Guys, I want you to know that the Prince George's County Homeless Hotline, the Prince George's County Homeless Hotline offers folks the understanding that they can go to the DC shelter. They can call the DC shelter if they need somewhere to be, because the reality is that the Prince George's County has one shelter that the hotline is servicing, and I've got community members that are in their cars for as many as 60 days, guys. These are red flags. We can do something about this, and this is what we're trying to do. We're bringing our small businesses to the table. If you're out there, palms up, stay tuned, because we've been talking. We're going to come back. We got one more question that we're going to ask, and we want to wrap this up. Guys, so much for doing this. This is going to be impactful. The work that we do, if we reach one life, then we're going to be able to be okay. So are we ready to wrap up? I guess we are. So let's get this last question going. Hey guys, the last thing I want to point out is that right here, we're not talking any hypothetical. We would never do that. Right here in this building, when we got here in October, we had folks sleeping in the building, right? And on the surface, you go, oh my goodness, yeah, it's cold outside. It's cold outside. And if you got one shelter in this region, this area, and you're not fortunate enough to have a car that you can hang out in for 2 months until they find a bed for you, and they're sending you to DC, I didn't understand that the resources in DC were so available when we got so many over there sleeping in the street. Where's the logic in that? So we're intelligent people. We run businesses. We pay taxes. You know, we help oversee other folks that run businesses. When we hear these things, we've got to be able to be proactive about doing something about them. And they will hear us if we bring our voices together. Palms up. Palms up. Hey guys, the last question for you is, knowing that folks are sleeping in the community, in the buildings, commercial buildings, they're sleeping in tents. You see them on the side of the roads. They're sleeping in their cars. What I want to ask you is, what recommendations would each of you make to the county, to the other nonprofit agencies out there that want to be a part of this solution and that are doing the work daily? Shout out to you. What recommendations would you all make for improving the healthiness of the community that we all have invested in?
Oh, let me answer that one real quick. First of all, not even go to the government, because we know government don't have the solution.
Oh, now.
We need, as small businesses, need to come together and do it for ourselves. And stop taking it, blame game, blaming the government not funding stuff. Get off your lazy ass.
And this is one of the two pastors in the room. Palms up
and do what needs to be done. Because we have so much power in our businesses. Stop trying to buy all these Mercedes and live like the Joneses and stuff. If you take care of your community, then you can have what you want. But until you do, just shut up and get out the way. And those who really want to do something, come on down here, let's get together and get these people off the street. Come on down here and let's start feeding these people. Come on down here and let's start educating these people. Come on down here and let's deal with this mental health, because you're better than what they say you are. That's all I got to say about it.
Hey, palms up. She said enough. And I want you to know you can come on down here to get that food she's talking about. Yes. Tuesday, May 10th, we start grocery giveaways here at the Healthy DCME Leadership Coalition. See, guys, we're not just talking about it. We're going to be about it. And we're asking you to join us. This is real out here. We do this work because we want you guys to know that there are levels to this. Okay? Whether it's diagnosed or not, if you're feeling some kind of way, reach out.
Oh, resource.
Reach out.
I know it's uncomfortable. But when I work with young families, we really may need to ask them, okay, where is your family? Where's your support system? Is there something you can mend there? Can your section and voucher help pay your auntie's bill because you eat auntie's food? Can you all work on that family relationship, or can we get home visitors and counselors? Because sometimes it is just people not being able to work through family issues.
Well, sometimes it's your environment. Sometimes it's your household that's keeping you down. Come on.
Asking nothing. Everybody has the solution.
That's right.
And everybody keep doing the same thing. See, I sit down with the groups and talk to them. So I ain't talking from a place of, oh, I'm just telling you what's going on. I generalize about 3. No, nobody sit and ask these kids. Nobody asks the people nothing. We doing the same thing. We're going to come feed you. We're going to come give you free clothes. We're going to come find this. Nobody's talking to the masses.
What's the issue?
In the words of many,
what's the
issue? We're feeding them the fish, but not teaching.
Because I just said up for plenty of homeless people tell you, I don't want no house. They comfortable being where they at.
Yeah,
well, I want to go join them, tell you the truth.
I want to I want to just amend that comment to say the MI Mothers Keeping Mental Health Advocacy Organization out here is in the DMV area. We hold suicide workshops because we know the importance of listening to our babies and listening to our people. We go and walk on the ground in the community levels, and we set up in their community centers. That's what COVID affected. And so now we're coming back, and so what we realize is that the enemy, you don't let this mental health messaging down that easy. That's why we're on social media. Come on to this conversation, Pastor Melody. I know you got a word. Come on.
Yeah, I just add one thing. Mainly when you say, it's going to come back around, everything's coming back around.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to fix it if you're looking at it in the world. It's spiritual.
Amen.
This is a spiritual journey that you all are going through. And what you all call mental health or mental disease or whatever it's called, whatever you call, to me that's demon possessed. You have to hit it where it is, right at the core. It's sin nature, and the only way you're going to be able to get it right is with love.
Right.
You all are showing
Yes,
already.
we are. Yes, we are. And I'm going to share something with you because I appreciate that word. Guys, there's so many out there that hear this. And, I can't tell you what my ears hear, but you know what you're intending to say, right? And vice versa. Right. And the reality and what's so fragile about this conversation, that comment you just made for generations, we understand that. Where we're losing them is that there's something missing for our youth and our younger population. So they go to what they hear.
Right.
And what they hear is that they should not speak about their mental health because now they're believed to be demons. Right? Right. So, and again, it goes back to your walk. And so when we go back to saying that there's no foundation there, then there's no basis to be able to understand or have anything to connect to that, to make that rational, right? And so that's why, and so the point I'm making, that's why we got to keep talking. Right. None of this is wrong or right, it's real. And what I need you to know out there, the stigma that gets formed is the reality that when we have folks that come to the table that have opinions but don't humble to understand that there are also others. And that is not what we're saying here. Right. What we're saying out there, if you have opinion, come on, don't be so afraid. If someone doesn't get it, we got to talk about it because we come from many different avenues. We are descendants of slaves. Can you imagine they didn't have the time to sit around and they didn't have this luxury?
I don't think people really grasp that. Like there was, a big movement of post-traumatic slave syndrome. But I don't think people really grasp like when you talked about the generation.
People want to detach from it. It's the labels. We don't like labels.
Slavery to have post-traumatic something?
Not necessarily. You were in it with it. Right. We had to wait for the researchers to come along to tell us because we don't have, they'll control the narrative, and that goes back to understand the standard. No, ain't nobody thought nothing.
But
it's a different
the
time.
Trauma of the slavery, because remember the
Yeah.
So, but
that's what he's saying, though. No. That's what he's saying. He's being sarcastic, but see, we got to be able to do that. What I mean by that is that I know what you're saying in terms of that, but they're kind of literally taking it. But the truth of the matter is, he's making a good point. It's what we call slavery. From back then, right now, it's just the reality again of whose perspective are we coming from, right? If we're saying that someone else is controlling the narrative and controlling the standard, and we have to go keep asking them to ask for food, to ask if we can do this, can I sign up for your program, can I get you, my life condition's not changing. Who said it best? Push Black said, what does Black liberation look like, right? We don't get the right, we don't have the right to stand here today and complain about what doesn't work, and then tomorrow go get in those same lines and send our children to the same schools that we said didn't work yesterday. So what we've got to do is get busy about delivering ourselves from these systems that we're saying didn't work yesterday. So when we talk about what is slavery, it means what is your definition of it? What is your observation of it? Come on, Mr. Dip.
My one argument all the time. Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, the model that they based right there, that's if
everybody don't have to believe that. It might be working for them. Some people just get stopped at the gate because they're not with it.
If it's working for them,
why not? You got to get you got to be able to check all the boxes to get me to be humble enough to come into it, right? Shouldn't have to into whatever it is that I'm feeling like it's not for me. Because that's not for everybody.
The model?
No, not the model, the message.
What you just said is the message.
Right.
We come together with ourselves,
right.
Police ourselves, take care of ourselves, bank with ourselves, we support, we protect ourselves. We're going, just what you just said.
No, I know
That's
exactly.
what he started it.
And that's great.
The
But
So
I'm
why
telling
not
you, hold on a minute.
Roll off that model right there.
Because
That's
it-
If
because
you
we
keep saying
need
we don't
something.
have the answer, there's the answer.
For you.
So let's just speak
For
and
you
say
and people that. What I'm saying
So,
to you, Brian.
for me-
Hold on 1 minute. No, because you're making the point.
no,
what I'm
that's-
saying
that's
that
what-
somebody.
You just said that point.
I just said that that's the way we should be.
Right.
I got to leave the door open for the person that comes and is not. Everybody, the message going to find them where they are. When I'm talking to you, I got to find you where you are. Just because you're
Right.
there doesn't mean this person's there. So you're going to have a different kind of conversation with me than they would.
No, I'm
You
not
could be
talking
making a point, but they
individualized.
don't see. No,
talking
I'm making
as a
about
whole.
your
We
point.
start a whole, and that way we can pull in as we get ground.
Well, let's do
But
that.
then
Let's,
you still
hold
have
on
to
1
meet
minute.
them.
Let's do this. Let's do this to challenge that theory because that's why we do this. I don't want it to be my point of view or yours. Let's open it up because it's a round table and we're going to wrap up with this. This is so beautiful, guys. This means we have to do it again.
Yeah.
Boy, I love you guys. Thank you guys for coming in. Who knew that we can make mental health conversations so controversial and ain't nobody even talking about diagnosing and medicine and all this other. It's a whole nother round to this, but I want to understand when you hear. I'm going to put Mr. Dip's point of view to the table because it's important. Minister Farrakhan's, you do it. Come on, tell me what you're saying. Their
From my
model
point of
works.
view?
Come on.
What I said was, if you have, or based off what you
No, just
said,
uh-huh.
we should model stuff on the works. If the Nation of Islam,
Mhm.
screw just the nation, but if let's go to Elijah Muhammad started
Mhm.
the Nation of Islam, or if Joe Blow started something saying what we were saying, if we come together,
Mhm.
work with ourselves, police ourselves, protect ourselves, buy from each other, we shut everything else out.
Mhm.
We come together and form a cult group, whatever you want to call it,
A
our
nation.
race,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
Then once we have that model,
Mhm.
then we can start working, grabbing whoever. It's not about individually. It's
Right,
like a church.
collectively.
You have to build the church first. The
Okay.
pastor, the congregation, the finances, the building. Then we can start reaching out because we have a solid foundation that a model that we see is working, bringing in the children and saving children, saving people with mental health.
Okay, so
saving
stop
the
right there. Let
suicidal
somebody else
people.
say
So
something.
you have to
come
build
on.
the model
No,
first.
stop right there because I want them to speak. We get ready to go. You gave us enough. Come on. I want them to hear the build out. Come on, Pastor Melody.
I think the only problem with that is that there's always going to be somebody in the group that's jealous.
Okay.
You know,
That's
there's always going to be somebody that's not gonna let it work.
Mhm.
You know, we can put it together as much as we want. You know, but
Mhm.
there's always going to be a Judas.
Okay.
Is that
Come on.
what
Hold
you
on, Brian. We try. No, they just responding. We gonna. That's part 2, right? I want to get it out there and give everybody a chance to respond with their point of view, and then you can wrap it up.
Oh, my great granny said, put it out there where the ghosts can get it.
That's
We tried that,
out there. Palms up.
and they burnt down little Africa. Okay,
Mhm.
just putting it out there.
Mhm.
It
Okay.
ain't happening on this soil. And two, I think it's the essence of it more than the model. It's identity. Know who you are in God's eyes.
I love that. Come on, Queen, chime in.
Dip. Listen, it's all sounds great, but the problem is, as Rhonda was trying to say, all of that sounds good, but you still got to reach people where they at to make them understand where they're going. If they do not have a vision or can't see the picture, it is a blur.
Is that not what the Nation of Islam
Hold on. They listen to you. Let them say what they
I'm
gotta
gonna
say.
say
Then
this
you can
one
wrap
more
it
time
up.
with you.
No, come on. I love our people. We gotta show some
I
personality.
understand.
There's more than
but
one
I
point
get
of
it.
view, guys.
I
Come on.
get where you're going, but again, first of all, if you try to persuade me with the words Nation of Islam, I'm instantly turned off.
So
Everybody,
that's
Hold
what's taking
on.
away. No, hold on. I got to say
Uh-huh.
something because I'm not speaking about the nation.
I
That seems
understand.
to be where everybody goes.
That's
I
just
said
the model.
model.
He's talking about the
Hear me out.
model. Okay.
but when I said model
Uh-huh.
early on, minusing the Nation of
Black
Islam,
Panthers too, or
I'm just telling you, if you built this and told me this was strictly for all black people, you have to be able to attract the black people to make them understand what is this for. You still have to give them the vision and the education. Without it, they're blind and there's no vision. And that way, the whole thing that you're trying to do is going to crash. You have to meet them where they are to make them understand.
So
Okay.
just
Thank
one-
you for your point of
So
view.
is the Nation of Islam crash? Because they look very successful.
Sir, this is what I'm saying to you one more time.
I got
He's
your
saying
point.
that
I asked a
Islam.
separate question.
He's
No.
saying it. Hold on.
But they follow the
y'all.
model
Come
I'm talking
on.
about,
He's
and they
saying.
seem to be very
Hold
successful
on.
at
Okay,
it.
bet. Okay.
FOI, they won't touch the Minister
Guys,
Farrakhan.
Listen, we
So
have
don't
to have a
them
order.
problems.
One thing they say about us, we get so spirited that we don't follow no rules, and we need to dispel that myth right now. We can talk about this, and we're gonna get through it, right? But we can't go back and forth when we got all these people here and we got all these points of views to be made. So I hear you.
Done.
Great.
Right.
What you got to say? Thank you for that, because that was very good input.
Basically, it's about human relationship and building relationship with each other and building a trust thing. And as we do that, then we can develop that plan without the confusion. Part of the problem is we get religion and politics all jumbled up together, and that's why nothing get done. My suggestion is we gonna work together as people, showing love, seeing what you need, and coming with a solution on how to get you where you need to get. And at the same time, they can help us too, so we're growing together. That's my solution.
Thank you for that, Queen. Come on to the conversation, soldier.
So, first of all, we have to understand, and I'm going to diagnose quite a few people with Stockholm syndrome.
Oh, yes.
There is absolutely no
Asperger's.
way,
Come on.
that we can say that, we're going to come have this kumbaya moment, because first of all, we all have different thoughts, views, and opinions as we see right now. So trying to get a whole collective of the diaspora to come into a room and try to build political or economical power, and say that this is what we're going to do. We're so international now, we can't even separate ourselves from Russia.
Come on now.
We can't separate ourselves from the iPhone in China. So how, as a community, are we going to say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do? Because the infrastructure, they're slowly trying to build it and say buy black, but like you're saying, the foundation, everything is there, but it's just going to be a push and a pull situation. And I don't think that to be quite honest, I don't think it's going to happen. So I don't want to be pessimistic, but
no, and it's fair. The reason I wanted to do that is because you out there, you're viewing us. We're doing this for a reason. People are going to have many points of view. Don't get up from the table. Figure out a way to work through it. We've got to be able to agree to disagree, because whether we all realize it or not, there's growth that happened tonight.
Yeah.
There's a seed that's planted tonight. Because no one sits here this long and talks about this kind of stuff unless you care on some level, right? Palms up to everybody. Thank you. Now, I want to share with you a personal point of view. I agree with you. I'm a businesswoman. You know me. Big Dip and I go back in real estate together. So we've had many opportunities to do just this. And I love that, because without someone to bounce your ideas off of and to challenge you, then you don't grow, right? And you don't know and can't know everything. Okay? So having said that, the model, I'm a businesswoman. Yes, you gotta have a strategy, and if the model works, they say success leaves clues, right? I don't have to reinvent the wheel if you already show me that you're successful with it, right? But when we talk about meeting people where they are, we all step into these conversations from our own journey, right? And as humanistic understandings, the businesswoman in me says, yeah, that sounds great. That's a great model and it's working. The human side of me and the trauma and the stories that I carry, that triggers or brings up for me the reality that in that there's a submission for women at some level. And I'm saying this not talking third party. My mother came through the nation, right? My mother, my stepfather, they were married for 30 years on paper. My mother has visible schizophrenic voices. He's very, yes, rah for that. The reality that what he got, I'm not saying this is the definition of that, this is what he brought away from it, and that's the danger of not knowing where everybody is when we're talking about building, right? I think we all said the same thing. Where he was at with it was that she needed to understand nobody was going to want her because she had visible voices, and by God, who would think that was attractive? Now, the scary part, I don't know. That's the point I'm making to you. But what he represented in every part of his 30 years of living was the nation. So if he's somewhere segue, but that's what the point I'm trying to make to you. You can have a good plan, but if you put a person that's representing your model, and then you come fast forward, and you're having a conversation, what I'm saying to you is that you're not putting the point out there that it's the nation. That may be the case, but just
what you're saying. I'm missing something.
Well,
he took away from what?
Humble for a minute, and let me keep talking because I might answer it. So let me get there if I haven't got there for you. The point I'm making to you is that this model that's so great from a business standpoint, $1, it might make sense, but there's no way the human part of me is not going to also have an emotion about that. And so that model to me has a flaw when it comes to the man and the woman. Now that could be my lack of ignorance. the model that the Islam people are using that you're saying is working and they're very successful.
See, that's what I was getting at. You still keep going to Islamic faith and the religious.
The model,
I'm not talking about
the
that.
model that they're using includes the women being submissive to a
That's
point.
the nation
and-
of Islam. I
Well,
don't care
listen
about
to-
that. I'm not speaking.
Brian, whether you do or not, we're speaking on it.
But you
okay?
putting me and you talking to me as if
I'm
that's what I
talking
brought to the
because you
table. I
brought the
didn't bring
point.
that to the table.
Well, what this is what we assumed was. Hold on 1 minute, Mr. Hardy, because I want to finish. Because we have to agree to disagree, but then move past it. I know what I'm trying to say. He know what he's.
I bring that to the table.
You would not have any reason to keep commenting because I'm not speaking
Well,
to you
was
anymore.
talking to me.
But apparently not if that's not your point. So what I'm saying is what I hear. Now remember when I started this, before I passed it to everybody, I said it depends on what that person is hearing. And that's the point I'm trying to make. You can be very convicted where you are, but if I haven't arrived yet, then we ain't building nothing.
So I think I think I know where you're coming from. You're not talking about the, the religious aspect of it. You're saying on the economical side, they knew to come together to form
Like
businesses.
Black Wall Street, like
But
she said.
what she said, and within that,
The they. Define the they. The they that subscribed to it, that made it successful, and keeps it successful for
They
them.
have a structure
within that feeds their success.
help them to build that thing what you're trying to explain and
Some
say
people
within a
have a problem
machine.
with it, right.
Because
But we don't
she
have to
said the notes
that
of the
religious
bolts
thing.
that tied that together is it's not what is accepting in her model, because subjugation came as part of that whole process of building that, because they all pooled that money in together and gave it to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, did they not?
Right.
So that's what we were saying. It was shared equally
To form the Nation of Islam.
This is beautiful,
Right.
beautiful,
So
guys.
that's why.
So let's leave it there and do a part 2, because the point of letting this play out is letting you know again, people gonna have many points of view. There are many scholars walking amongst us, and there are many no scholars walking amongst us. Everybody can learn from everybody. So the truth of the matter is, humble yourself, put your cape at the door, sit down, and have meaningful conversations that you can grow from. Sometimes what works for someone may not work for the other, but we've got to figure out what will work. And the reality is we meet everybody where they are, and we give everybody an opportunity to either find out where we are and see if that's going to work or not. Doesn't mean that I have to feel any different about you. I just don't agree with you in that setting. And that's the businesswoman about me. And I learned that coming through sales. Because whether I agree or not, I'm green. Don't have to like it, but I still have to make the money and pay the bills. And that's where we as a people have to get to. Our emotions and our realities are 2 different things sometimes. Amen? All right, palms up, guys. I love this. Thank you, guys. Give yourselves a good. You don't know what we're doing for the population and for the culture. I need you to know that this was a special edition of Palms Up. Thanks for hanging in there out there with us out there. You know MI is turning 5 years, so we're liable to do anything. It's mental health. May is mental health month. And you know the one with all the opinions and all the wisdom and all the raising of the children and all the understanding. He also is a beautiful soul that makes sure that our shopping, that we are branded. So if you heard anything here today that you think is going to change that, then you need to listen. Again, guys, we need to learn how to do this because we got to be able to grow. You need to be able to use your computer, laptop. You see what I'm saying? You guys, we need you to know we out here in these streets. That beautiful soul that wants us to look at the model for what is working for the Islamic faith. He wants to look at that model. He know a little something, huh? He know what success is supposed to look like, guys. It's time for us to come together and be able to understand that we are a myriad of understandings, emotions, and experiences. Where we grow is when we can humble and listen to one another. Palms up to my beautiful small business panel. All right. It's your girl, and we got through. I know there was some times when you were worried, but just like in your household, it gets tense, don't it? That's right. Mental health matters, and that's all we're talking about. It's levels to this. Palms up, guys. We'll see you Tuesday. If you need some help out there, we'll see you women Saturday. What am I talking about? Saturday, we're doing our Mother's Day party over at 4707 Raleigh Road in Temple Hills. Have you been on the Eventbrite? Palms up for womenwellness.eventbrite.com. Guys, come on. And the website is www.mimotherskeeper.com. You can find out all of what you just heard. You can even get through to our social media page. Go onto our events page and see what's going on. Guys, mental health is real out there. Don't get it twisted. May is your month. May is our month. We're going to do this together. Palms up. We'll be talking to you guys soon. Thanks so much, everybody.